Hey everybody, my name's Eric. Welcome to the Joecast. This is the WWE Monday Night Raw recap for February 6, 2017. The show opened up with Samoa Joe as he was introduced as the newest member of the Raw roster. Raw General Manager Mick Foley wasn't too thrilled about Samoa Joe's actions last week where he attacked Seth Rollins. Samoa Joe put the entire Raw locker room on notice and claimed that he was going to destroy anyone in his path. I absolutely loved this promo from Samoa Joe here, his first night on Raw. Well, first official night on Raw, I should say. He should have been called up to the main roster, months ago. This promo here was probably better than any promo than most of the wrestlers on the main roster do on a weekly basis here. Then Roman Reigns came down to the ring and he had a stare down with Samoa Joe. And then Reigns challenged him to a match, and Foley made it official for later on tonight. Um, yeah, this was a very good opening segment. I thought it really built the tension between Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe, and even Mick Foley and Stephanie McMahon there. They kind of got into it a little bit, and obviously that's going to come to a head someday down the line here, and probably Stephanie getting the better end of it because Stephanie loves to belittle her uh, characters and subordinates and things all around her. So. Yeah, the it's just crazy to watch her work. She just always takes control and always in demand here. But anyway, moving on here, we had Nia Jax versus Bayley. The match pretty much came to an end when Charlotte came down to distract Bayley, and in doing so, the distraction allowed Nia time to get back into the ring and hit the Samoan drop for the victory over Bayley by pinfall. And after the match, Charlotte stood over Bayley and raised her Raw Women's Championship. And next week, we're going to get Charlotte versus Bayley for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. So you can look forward to that next week. And I kind of expect the way things go with that title there, Bayley may actually come away with the victory and the Raw Women's Championship, because if it's like the Sasha Banks Charlotte feud, they change championships all the time, and most of the time when Sasha got the wins, it was on Raw, and Charlotte would keep her pay-per-view streak intact. So I can see Bayley winning the championship next week, actually, believe it or not, especially since she did the job to Nia Jax here. Then we had a handicap match with Braun Strowman versus Dusty Wallace, James Stock, CC Bonin, and Rob Pelly. A bunch of geeks here, four jobbers in the ring, just absolutely got destroyed by Braun Strowman. And then afterwards, Braun Strowman was mad because he had no real competition. He found Mick Foley backstage and demanded a more competitive match. And then Foley said that Strowman will face Roman Reigns at WWE Fastlane. So he's going to get a more competitive match here. I'm really starting to take a shine to Braun Strowman here. He's starting to win me over a little bit. At first, he was very raw and very green, and I'm starting to really like what he's doing. He's getting better slowly, so I'm not sure he's ready for like a title run or anything like that. But I think he's got potential now. Then we had the debut on Raw of Akira Tozawa versus Drew Gulak. It was a very quick back and forth match. Tozawa got the pinfall victory after hitting the German suplex. After the match, Brian Kendrick came down to the ring after the match and shook Tozawa's hand. Obviously, they're setting up an angle here on 205 Live where Brian Kendrick will kind of mentor the young bucks, so to speak, and kind of take him under his wing. So we'll see how that pans out. I usually don't watch 205 a whole lot, but we'll see. I may change my mind on that here going forward. Then Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens came down to the ring. Jericho said he was the greatest of all time and was annoyed that people were referring to Tom Brady as the greatest of all time. So he put Tom Brady on the list. Jericho is now my favorite wrestler. So Jericho then like I said, added Tom Brady to the list, and then Owens bragged about his retaining his Universal Championship against Braun Strowman last week. Jericho once again brought up the idea of a match at WrestleMania with Kevin Owens, and Owens still wasn't too fond of it, but he didn't want to fight his best friend. Then Goldberg interrupted both of them and challenged Kevin Owens to a match at Fastlane. Jericho got in Goldberg's face and said he never liked him. Then Jericho then accepted the match on Owens' behalf. Then Owens flipped out on Chris Jericho, and it was then made official that Kevin Owens versus Goldberg at WWE Fastlane for the Universal Championship on March 5th. And then Jericho and Owens were shown arguing backstage. I can already see where this is going. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out here. I believe Goldberg is going to probably destroy Kevin Owens, and I don't like that. I don't feel like it's cool for a part-timer like Goldberg here, who probably won't be around for very long, maybe past WrestleMania. I'm not sure what their plans are for the long term. But destroying your biggest heel right now on Raw in Kevin Owens, and a very talented performer here is not the way I would want to go about it. But they're hell bent on having Goldberg defend the title against Brock Lesnar, and I'm guessing Brock Lesnar wins the title at WrestleMania here. And then I can obviously see the way this is going to go with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. I can see being Jericho accepted this match on Owens' behalf. I can see that with Kevin, if Kevin Owens loses the belt to Goldberg, that will set up the feud between Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho at WrestleMania, because being Jericho kind of stuck his nose in here, Owens is not going to be too thrilled with it. Let's see here, what do we have next? The Raw Tag Team Championship match between Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Sheamus and Cesaro. The match ended basically when Enzo and Cass, who were sitting on the outside of the ring, kind of got involved, and Cass gave a big boot to Gallows that resulted in the match being ending by disqualification, and Gallows and Anderson kept the tag championships here. And I believe that's going to set up Sheamus and Cesaro versus Enzo and Cass, and it could even be setting up a three-way tag team match for the championships as well, and coming up down the line here. Then we had the New Day versus the Shining Stars. I mean, the New Day cut a promo before the match and announced that they have a New Day ice cream coming out. I don't know if they'll be like CM Punk's ice cream bars or not, but the match was kind of short and stupid. I mean, it was just New Day going over cleanly here against the Shining Stars here. The United States Championship match thing was up next with Chris Jericho defending his title against Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens and Jericho became friends again right before the match, obviously, and then Owens accompanied Jericho to the ring to cheer him on. The match pretty well ended when Jericho hit the code breaker for the pinfall victory after Kevin Owens kicked Sami Zayn in the face while he was laying near on the apron there. So Kevin Owens helps Jericho retain his championship. We'll see if Jericho returns the favor at Fastlane. I got a feeling he's not going to be able to here. Even if he tries, Goldberg's going to lay him out. I think they're going to put Goldberg over heavy here. Then Austin Aries interviewed Neville in the middle of the ring after that, and stated that the injury that Rich Swann suffered last week will keep him out of action for some time. Then Austin Aries announced that tomorrow night on 205 Live there will be a fatal 5-way elimination match to determine the number one contender for the Cruiserweight Championship between Jack Gallagher, Tony Nese, Cedric Alexander, Noam Dar, TJ Perkins, and they will be competing in that match to see who will become number one contender at Fastlane. Then Aries asked Neville who he was most afraid of in that match, and Neville got ticked off. And then Neville said that he doesn't fear anyone, and this led to all 5 of the superstars coming down to the ring, and a brawl broke out. And then we came back. We had a 6-man tag in which Neville then walked out at the end of it, and that cost Tony Nese and Noam Dar the match, and TJ Perkins, Gallagher, and Alexander won the match. So it's obviously setting up the 5-way, and then obviously the fast lane for the winner of that match to face Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. And then it was announced that Raw will be in Las Vegas next week, and Jericho said he had something planned for it, which he called the Festival of Friendship. The festival will be a celebration of the bond between Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. I'm nervous about this. I don't like the title of it. I think it's cheesy and rather stupid, but this could be comedy gold because these two are usually pretty great together, and they usually do a good job of coming up with stuff on the fly. So this could be great, or it could be a flat out disaster. So we'll have to wait and see next week. It sounds like they're going to go all out with it and kind of make a big Las Vegas show here and kind of pull out all the stops. So we'll see what happens there. And in the main event, we had Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. Samoa Joe attacked Roman Reigns before the match even started, laid him out. Well, basically, the match ended here when Roman Reigns was distracted by Braun Strowman's music, and Strowman come down to the ring to lay him out, and basically setting up their match at Fastlane. And as Roman was distracted, Samoa Joe kicked him in the back of the head, threw him against the ropes, and did this like spinning suplex power slam type deal here. I don't think I've ever really seen Joe do it. I'm not sure if he's done it on NXT or not. But anyway, so Samoa Joe gets a good victory here for his debut match on Raw, and I really thought Joe looked really good in this match and really made Roman Reigns have a good match as well. I thought this was the best match on the show by far, besides Jericho and Sami Zayn. And after the match was over, Strowman hit the running power slam to Roman Reigns through the barricade, and he also, laid him out a few other times with the steel steps and stuff. So the show goes off the air with Strowman just absolutely, towering over Roman Reigns as he's writhing in agony on the outside. And I thought the ending was very good. The show on the whole was a bit of it was okay. It had its moments here and there from the promo at the beginning, and the best stuff involved Goldberg or Kevin Owens and Jericho or Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns for the most part. And obviously the biggest news of the week is that Seth Rollins did indeed get injured last week on Raw when Samoa Joe took him down. It looks like he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks with a torn MCL, I believe, and that probably means he will miss WrestleMania, or at least maybe he might be able to compete at Mania, but it's going to be pushing it. So I would expect the Triple H Seth Rollins feud possibly to get pushed to SummerSlam. So, well, that'll just about do it for me, everybody. Thank you for watching this video, and if you like what you saw here, please comment and like this video. And you can also subscribe to the Jailcast on YouTube by searching for Jailcast there. You can also find links in the description of this video for my Facebook and Twitter, or you can go to facebook.com/Jailcast, or you can find me on Twitter @EricJell. So until next time, thank you for watching. God bless.